some lovely weather here in Mumbai, but we also have one of India's most popular EVs, the Tata Nexon EV, the 2023 edition, and we thought, let's put it through its paces. Can this practically take you from here to Pune on a single charge? I tried to charge it last night. It was quite a cumbersome process finding that fast charger because I don't own an EV, and I've charged it up to nearly 80%. What kind of range will it give me from Bombay to Pune? Will I make it on a single charge? Well, let's find out. All right, I've been in and out of Mumbai so much because tech and auto keeps you busy that I haven't managed to drive any of these beautiful beasts on Mumbai's newest and latest architectural marvel, the Atal Setu. So I'm going to take the Nexon EV, maybe save some time on this bridge, but the first thing I'm going to do is put the car in sport mode, put it in drive, and enjoy the experience. Honestly, it's been a pleasure driving the Nexon EV on this new bridge, the Atal Setu, because this is a first for me as well. EV on this bridge, any car on this bridge for me, and it's quite an interesting, slopey, goes up, comes down sort of a bridge, and with regenerative braking and what you can do whilst you're coasting in an EV, I think, honestly, I have gained some range. So thank you, Atal Setu. I think we're going to get to Pune, well, in one piece and on one charge. Hi Sven, how are you?
Hi Aayush, I'm fine, how are you?
What a
you
pleasure.
made it?
I made it.
You made it?
No range anxiety, congratulations to you and I.
Now I'm no longer sweating. Eh?
Me too, me too. We're going to hydrate very quickly. I have with me a very special guest on Tech Today. Sven, Chief Technology Officer at Tata Motors. We're going to geek out in this conversation, Sven. I have a lot of questions for you.
All right.
I just thought everyone's talking about going digital and really latching onto these social media trends. Maybe you and I can talk technology, but what better setting than going analog where our phones aren't working, the network's not working, and we're in the middle of the green lungs of Pune, it seems.
That's right. So welcome to welcome to Lake House, which is an establishment of our former chairman and consisting of natural lakes and about, I think, more than 800 species of animals and everything. So it's really the hustle and bustle of Pune. If you get here, you calm down, you start thinking, and then you ideate, and then you go ahead.
That seems like the secret sauce, because if you see how Tata Motors has evolved over the past few years, your R&D center is not too far away.
Yes.
And you see that things have changed. Driving the Nexon EV on this stretch, which we manage on a single charge, it seems like a lot of research and development work is going behind these products.
Yes.
How much of that push is coming from here as opposed to other global centers for Tata Motors across the world?
I think our R&D headquarters is located here in Pune, just across the street, and with roughly 1,000 people, more or less, we are designing and engineering the products of Tata Motors. And the new Nexon.EV, I think, is one very good example on how Tata Motors went through a journey in the last couple of years from being number 5 in the market and now being somewhere between number 2 and 3. And all the innovations are being created here, of course, with our entire ecosystem of suppliers and partners around the world, not only in India. But yeah, I'm happy that you managed to come here at the end of the day with just one charge from Mumbai.
I did, and that we have documented on the show as well. But it's interesting, you mentioned, from that sort of position in the market, climbing up to the top for Tata Motors. There's a lot of tech, a lot of innovation. I feel like the entire auto industry is going through a sea change where technology is the key focus, right? And I think that's what makes your job more interesting here at Tata Motors, because if you consider what's happening across the Tata lineup, I think the next generation is all about better design, better technology, and more efficiency.
Yeah, those 3 areas I think are really important, but one additional factor we should not underestimate. Despite we, are used to counting features. Yeah, we have, 20, 25 different features in a vehicle. This does not necessarily mean that the product for the end of for the customer is the best. So the fourth secret ingredient of the secret sauce is to really focus on the customer. from wherever we come. And tech helps us to, at the end of the day, solve problems our customers, our users have and should not have when they enter the ecosystem of a Tata Motors vehicle.
So when you worked in several leadership positions at top companies across the world, but you're speaking of the Indian consumer, and that's a very price conscious and a consumer who wants maximum features, maximum bang for their buck when it comes to tech, when it comes to auto or any product whatsoever. How does that really tweak your approach personally when you look at this? Looking at the entire technology function, what kind of insights go into product development? How much of that sort of push comes from these sort of filters and lenses? Price conscious, bang for your buck, maximum features.
I think a couple of years ago, Tata Motors started their so-called New Forever philosophy that says the promise towards our customers to incrementally increase the value of your product. And looking at implementing new features, new functions, new tech in the vehicle is not only just like we want to have the tech, but we want to have it so it serves the customer at the end of the day and it offers more value for the buck, as you said before. So how do we get there? I think one topic for sure is we listen to our customers. So whatever feedback we receive, we take very seriously and implement whatever needs to be changed at the end of the day. The second topic, of course, we are looking around in the world, and me coming from China in the last couple of years, looking east nowadays shows us what will happen in the other parts of the world sooner or later, also in India. And also looking at the lifestyle of our customers in India, everything is getting digital nowadays. I didn't use any cash since I arrived here a year ago. So that's something that we have to consider when we are developing our vehicles. And last but not least, of course, also the technological development of tech itself given to us by suppliers plays a key role in then putting everything together that products pop out like the Nexon EV.
So, and it's not just the Nexon EV. We see the Safari, the Harrier, big crowd favorites here in India. There's also a big focus on safety, I believe, because now we have the Bharat NCAP, and you see that Tata Motors cars are doing really well, exceedingly well over there. Is there a huge, contribution from your team there when it comes to how do you really ensure maximum trust and safety for the consumer?
So for Tata Motors, the pillar of safety, I think, is already there since almost 30 years. So, and that's what Tata Motors builds on. So looking over the street, on the other side of the street, we've established India's first integrated safety center back in 1997, I think.
Right.
So almost 30 years of experience putting focus on safety of our customers, of our users. And nowadays this facility is state-of-the-art with crash facilities for active as well as passive safety elements. And when we design a new vehicle from scratch, from the moment we start developing or forming the, let's say, body in white, we already start with the safety mindset in hand, how we implement our know-how, our simulation results into, at the end of the day, how the vehicle is being packaged, created, developed, and then finally validated and released. And I must admit, I'm really proud that our team made it happen, that we were the first one to go to Bharat NCAP, the new Indian crash requirements, and achieved a wonderful 5-star result for our Harrier and Safari.
Sven, I just want to touch upon some of the points you just made out there. Very interesting that since you've come in over here, you've not used cash because of our digital payments infrastructure, the unified payments interface. I was in Europe just last week, and even at something like the Eiffel Tower, you can now use UPI. So again, no cash, no euros, just go straight, scan your QR code and make that happen. But what I find interesting is, while the narrative is that India has really gone through a quantum leap of innovation, right? We've really managed to embrace technology over the past few years, the last decade especially. Now you've come to India, you've been here for a year almost, and you view it from a technology lens. Do you think that this is, tangibly, something that you can perceive? Is this something that is more of a media narrative, so to speak, or do you really think that we have leapfrogged when it comes to innovation across the board?
First time I came to India must be about 20 years ago. And by that time, I still remember it was always a problem for us coming from abroad, cash, yeah? And when I came here last year, and I realized that this cash thing is really gone. And then I learned it just has been 5 years now since the implementation of this UPI. And convenience in the country here, wherever I go, I think the most important gadget nowadays you need is the spare battery for your mobile phone that you never run out of power.
What's interesting is with some of these cars now, we're really talking about that extra technology layer. When you talk of the auto sector, I don't know if this is the Elon Musk effect globally, but technology, like I said, is a core focus when it comes to automotive. And even within the Tata Motors stables, I feel like the connected platform is something that you all are focusing on, a software-defined vehicle. How does that work, and how does that philosophy work across? Because you guys have, have products right from, the affordable price segment all the way into the premium segment. How does that particularly work, Sven?
I think coming from what you said before, the digitalization of our life in India, I think everything is nowadays centered around the mobile phone and being digital, and India being more or less on the front, one of the front runners globally.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we looked at that changing, not mindset, but the changing lifestyle. And we thought about, now, is it okay to, in the future, provide vehicles, mobility solutions like our vehicles, where you enter the car and you're cut off your normal life? 24 hours or 23 hours a day you spend on your mobile phone, the 1 hour you're driving, why not? So that's when we came up with how to first connect our vehicle to the cloud. That meaning somehow creating an ecosystem that enables digital life also in our vehicle. And moving from there, we started our journey in implementing features that are not only, focused on the vehicle itself, but also caters to the needs of the customer. For example, that on your mobile phone nowadays, you can either see where your car is standing, you can lock your vehicle, you can, preset the temperature of your vehicle, especially in hot summer in Pune. Once you enter your vehicle, is in the right temperature.
And also technologies like ADAS. I think that's something that the Indian consumer was warming up to over the past couple of years. But now that you see it across several automakers really establishing that as one of their key features, I'm guessing that's something you need to focus on to level up and also to really leverage the strengths that the Tata Group has across. Maybe some learnings from JLR perhaps.
I think if you touch on ADAS, autonomous or advanced driver assistance systems, that's for us the natural extension of the safety arm that we elaborated on before. And seeing this in the market nowadays and also in our vehicles, especially in Harrier Safari, where we implemented level 2 ADAS functions that help the driver to drive more safely at the end of the day. If you put in the indicator, there's a blind spot detection, detects a vehicle that you might not see in the mirrors, gives you a picture of the rear camera when you overtake, that you really are in control and know what's happening around you in order to make choices that leads to safer driving. Or the automatic emergency braking system that detects vehicles, pedestrians as well as cycles or motorcycles here in India. And in case you are not stopping, let the car stop for you and save you at the end of the day.
What's interesting is you obviously have your R&D HQ right here in Pune, and then there are other substations as well. We talk about Turin or in the UK. And another company that's doing really well in the UK and across the world is part of the Tata Group is Jaguar Land Rover. Now, we have, we've done some interesting things on the show with some of those cars. It's a premium segment, but I always want to understand how that synergy works between what you're doing at Tata Motors and what they're doing at JLR. Are there learnings, and is there some sort of knowledge or information exchange between the two companies?
I think we are in permanent communication, as that's the power of a group at the end of the day. And just recently we announced that, for example, in our future luxury segment or premium segment vehicles called Avinya, we're going to utilize the battery pack and the platform, the EMA platform from JLR, and put our, let's say, own hat on it. So we are in permanent discussion, in constant interchange, interaction, to learn from each other and then also to utilize technologies that are being, like in IKEA, put in the shelf and then the users can sort of use them.
No, I ask you that, Sven, because obviously Tata Motors has been in emotion for many years, but when a lot of the other automakers came into India, it was the one complaint that people had was essentially that, you know, design is not really catching up or it's not keeping pace with what's happening in the market. Now you see the new generation of Tata Motors cars, and I see that there is a huge, well, improvement in terms of design. They're looking a lot more international. They're looking a lot more like JLR. That's why I asked you, even from the design standpoint, is that something that we are actively doing at Tata Motors? Can we expect more?
No, from the design standpoint, there's a Tata Motors design and there is a JLR design. Of course, the people talk to each other, but the design language is chosen according to the brand. So what you see here I always point back to you because the Nexon is looking at me. That's what our design language stands for, and that's what we then, from the R&D perspective, try to bring to life with feasible and good technical solutions.
And when with your profile, which is across ICE and electric vehicles, now that's an interesting one as well because it would require a very different approach for both sets of cars with Indian consumers as well. I know on the electric side, we were worried about range anxiety, which is being mitigated to a large extent with better battery packs, better charging infrastructure. How do you really manage to play that balancing act between, for example, like the Nexon staring at you across my shoulder? How does the Nexon as a product develop on the ICE side versus how it develops on the electric side? How do you really approach that from your chair at Tata Motors, Sven?
Of course, the first step is always what does the respective product needs to be like, and for that we offer solutions and we create solutions. For example, Nexon.EV to have an electric driving range that works on your range anxiety and doesn't get you into the position to say, oh my God, how can I reach Pune from Mumbai? So. This is something where we are very specific on the requirements of the vehicle. On the other hand, taking the example EV again, suddenly customers no longer just step out of the car to take fuel for 5 minutes, but spend more time, especially while charging in the vehicle, then thinking about how can we utilize the most precious part a customer has, time, in a better way. And then other topics pop in. For example, in the Nexon, we have a very big 12-inch screen that gives you a cinematic experience where you can watch movies, where you can have your, sound applications accordingly. So you start creating use cases that are specific for EVs. The technology that enables this can also be applied on an ICE with a maybe different focus. So the connectivity of the vehicle, which is given in an EV, it has to be connected on a more or less regular time, while the ICE vehicles can then, utilize these platforms that we provide. For example, the connectivity to the outside world, as well as like the features and functions that you find in the vehicle.
You've warmed up now to India because you've been here for a year. I'm going to get to your time in India as a follow-up question. But first, just to understand, now that you've really understood how things work at Tata Motors, Sven, what would your key focus areas be in the months and years to come? What are those major areas of improvement that you think Tata Motors and your team perhaps needs to focus on to really capture more market share?
Personally, after 1 year here, I think Tata Motors is already in a very good position. Looking at the speed of change, the speed of how our products are being uplifted at the end of the day, and also the, how do you call it, this, the hunger to grow, the hunger to jump, to leapfrog. Right. And we are doing that in a tremendous speed compared to my other companies. So Tata Motors is really quick. I think the next step now for sure will be, and I touched on that already, is have more focus on the consumer, on the customer, on giving back time to the customer, meaning solving issues, solving problems that our customers have. So whatever we do, and this is what we implemented already, and you see it in the Nexon and Harrier, whatever we do, we look at it from a customer perspective, not from a department perspective. And and this really helps to get all our engineers into the mindset of how can they create value with whatever they are doing that gives value to our customer at the end of the day. So that's one of the key topics that we are doing.
All work and no play makes, you know how that one ends. So that's what I want to end this on, because I know you've been spotted by the paparazzi all over Pune cycling. You like cycling.
Yes.
You're into fitness.
Yes.
How have you warmed up to Pune and India? Is it the food? Is it the amazing crowd? What is it that makes you want to stay here in India?
I think first topic for sure is the colorfulness of India. So the variety of people, of food. I'm a foodie. I love spicy food. And
favorite dish since you've been here?
Favorite dish? I can't name them. I did not yet understand all of that, but at the end, everything what I touch tastes good.
Fair enough.
All good. Whether it's veg or non-veg, I eat everything. And that's one topic. And looking at my sports, nature, and we are here pretty much in nature. That's what I like. And around Pune, there are nice spots where you just have to be ahead of the traffic in the morning in order to get somewhere, and then it's nice.
But that's what I find interesting, because a lot of us in the tech world, all around the world, CTOs, essentially get so ingrained in what we are doing behind a computer screen or with a larger process or a system. We need to unwind and disconnect sometimes. Am I correct that the way that popular Netflix film went on Social Dilemma, where tech enthusiasts and tech workers need to, at some point in the day, disconnect? Is that something that you practice personally as well?
I try to. Of course, time is limited. The day has only 24 hours, and as I mentioned, our aspirations are pretty high. But at the end of the day, to take a step back, it's on the one hand for your own health and fitness, that's one topic. But on the other hand, also to step back and look and learn and figure out what could be the next big thing to offer to our customers.
Super, Sven. What an absolute pleasure to have you on Tech Today. Maybe the next time we do this, we'll both be cycling or playing a sport, and we'll have an interesting conversation as a follow-up a year from now.
Sounds like a plan. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.